Hello and welcome to another edition of Pulp Picks. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
And we're here to give you this week's reading recommendations on New Comic Book Day. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if it's coming out of the holidays or this is a 5-release month, right?
I think so.
I think so too, right? Because if it... Anyway. But it's light in the breadth of titles, but not in the number of big titles this week. So we've got a whole bunch of big titles coming out this week, particularly from a really high-profile character that's maybe the best-selling comic book character of all time, and that segues right into...
I've got Absolute Batman Arc M Special. So this issue, it's like the title kind of suggests, it's a special one-shot that's just about the Arc M facility that's kind of being made off the shore of Gotham. But more so, it's actually about like kind of the origins of like the original Arkham Asylum in this universe. So most of this issue is actually set back in the 40s, and it's kind of set at a couple different points in time because it follows kind of the life of this universe's original like Dr. Arkham, like how his childhood, which boy howdy, starts off real bad
with a bang.
Yeah, like starts off real bad, and like how that like convinced him like, oh, I need to like help people, like I need to like make sure that like people who are like suffering from mental illnesses and stuff like that like are like being taken care of. And then how over the course of his life how he struggles to do that, how maybe there's other nefarious forces that are like, hey, maybe we can take advantage of this whole situation. And yeah, he's basically, it's kind of at the end of his career, he's trying to sell the asylum now because it's fallen on hard times. You know, this guy who's trying to buy from him, he's getting like a tour of the grounds, and we're getting these like, they were getting these kind of like journal excerpts from Arkham of just like these various things that happened in his life that have kind of like led to this moment.
Yes.
And basically you kind of like, you get to meet some of these characters, like how they impact his life, and like, there's maybe a twist in there. You might be able to see it coming, you might not.
Yeah. There's an Edgar Allan Poe kind of ending to it all.
Yeah, and you just kind of like get to see like it very much informs a lot about like this version of Gotham and like certain characters that we've met and or been implied to like know like what's going on with them. And then we kind of get like a flash forward to now with the current Arc M and how it's being used to basically just like as a monster factory for all intents and purposes.
I think there was a Play-Doh set back in the 80s that was called the Monster Factory.
There's a YouTube channel called Monster Factory.
Never would have guessed that would have come up. But anyway, we were talking just a minute ago about what a really great combination of artist and writer on this book. And I think probably because the other thing that we've been talking about a lot lately is Snyder's background in writing horror stories. And this artist in particular just did a stint on one of our really well-liked horror comics of the last few years.
Yeah, Joshua Hickson, if you read Deviant from Image with him and Tinian, absolutely like perfect when it comes to doing this kind of like more like dread-inducing story. Like he's very... We were talking about this before. His art style is very reminiscent of Francisco Francavilla, the guy who did Afterlife with Archie back in the day. Just very like moody, lots of use of just like solid black shapes to kind of like convey just this like overwhelming sense of darkness. Yeah.
You know how actors can get typecast. I hope he doesn't get typecast as somebody who just draws prison-like scenarios because he's really good at drawing gated rooms.
Well, it's interesting because the whole like end sequence here does get to do like some action sequences, and he's actually really well suited for it. I feel like he's not just like a guy who's like can only do the one thing. Like he feels much more versatile than I feel like we've even gotten to see him do. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see any like future work from him. Like he is quickly becoming one of those artists where like I see him on a book and just like I should check this out. Like, right. Yeah. But Snyder actually co-writing this is Frank Carey, which I don't think he's done much DC stuff in a while. Like he's been mostly like Marvel for the last like several years, as far as I'm aware. Yeah. But this book, it's also like kind of like introduces and sets up some characters that might be showing up in like the next arc of Absolute Batman. If you've seen any of the solicits for that, you can kind of guess what that's about. But yeah, no, just
A
like
rogues gallery.
yes, but yeah, no, it's a very
No Condiment Man. Spoiler alert. No Condiment Man reference yet. It's got to be coming, right?
I need someone without getting spoilers. I need someone to like edit this final page
To say Condiment Man.
Yeah.
I don't know I can't remember what his alter ego is. What's his real name?
If you know and you can prove you know without having Googled it beforehand,
If it's not
you win
like
a prize.
Jim Hines or something like that, I'm going to be disappointed. It's a very DC way to go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just a very fun little one shot that like if you're just kind of like curious about like this universe and like how it differs, this kind of gives you a little insight to like, hey man, this is not like a fun place to be like just someone dealing with all this like weird like superhero stuff.
Yeah. I really like all the twists in this story because I don't want to give too much away. I like all the twists in this really well encapsulated story.
Yeah.
I think this is a very good example of why Snyder has been so popular, particularly with the Batman character and the whole Batman wing of DC for the last 20 years.
15.
It was right before New 52.
Yeah, because his first real work,
It's Detective, right?
yeah, like I think he did like a mini series before that or something. But yeah, Detective was where DC was just like, oh, we should give him the main Batman book. We'll reboot all this.
If you're on the Googles right now,
Yeah.
leave it in the comments on how long Snyder's been doing Batman. But he just tells such an interesting story where oftentimes you think you know where it's going, and it's not a twist for a twist's sake. It's a really good story. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of a real good story, your pick this one.
Yeah, I went with Nova Centurion #3. And in my defense, this is a very good story, which you agreed with. And B, I was going to pick our consensus pick, but it's our consensus pick, so I don't have to. So now I can go with my fan favorite Nova. Also, J. Scott Campbell, Marvel Universe short graphic boxes just showed up with Nova prominently displayed right there. I'm very happy. So if you've been hesitating on this book because Nova doesn't hold series for terribly long, I think his longest run was 50 issues or thereabouts.
Hey man, in this day and age, that'd be real great.
That would be great, right? I will take that in a heartbeat. He's prominently featured right now, so I think that they are investing in him being kind of the hub for the whole Marvel Galactic. But anyway, so he has been on a mission hired by the Kree-Skrull War, which is now a gang.
Yeah.
An intergalactic gang.
Yeah.
And they were robbed by someone. They've hired Nova to find out who that someone was. He took the job because they had Cammy in custody.
Yeah.
Cammy from Annihilation War, Drax's former sidekick. And as part of the deal to take this job, he made them release Cammy into his custody. Okay, so it's him, his combat accountant,
Albert.
Albert. How do I forget that? Cammy and Pip is around somewhere. But we don't know.
He's more sending jobs their way than he is like.
He's just on the cover for this issue.
Yeah.
And they're throwing down with Ravenous. And things took a turn for the worse at the end of the last issue, so they've got to figure out a way to beat Ravenous.
Yeah, turns out fighting a guy who's an energy vampire when your whole thing is just being energy is not a winning combo.
Wasn't it great? Especially when you go into it half-cocked and ready to just throw down.
I love the bit in there where Rich is just like, we need a new plan, and Worldmind just like, we didn't have one to start.
Yeah, what do you mean a new plan? Yeah, it was so good. And so that's part of what Jed McKay is capturing here, right? The banter between Worldmind and Richard Rider has, in the modern Nova, has been so iconic for the character. And to get that right off the bat has been really good. So we've got a fill-in artist in part of this issue. I can't imagine that it was intentional. I'm guessing they were just falling behind on schedule or something came up.
And who they found, like the two art styles, like half the time you don't even really notice that they've like changed.
I had to go, like I got a couple pages in and I was like, wait a minute, something slightly different here.
Yeah.
I flipped back and I was like, oh, they've got two artists on this book. But yeah, it's not very disjointing or anything. So, but there is a twist at the end. Also, the way that things go down to get to the twist was also very interesting.
No,
So-
I really enjoy that they're not shying away from the fact that, like, yes, Rich is a superhero, but he's also, like, been through a lot and, like, can have these moments where you kind of just, like, maybe he's not, like, the most superhero-y person. Like, he can, like, let his emotions get control of him.
Yes.
Which, I mean, we saw it in the last issue, too, where, like, as soon as he sees Ravenous, he just, like, goes right in there. Like,
And
doesn't
that
even
is-
really...
That has been his character from the get-go, right? Like that's kind of his thing is starting out as a teenager and being given the Nova Force. He's always been kind of brash, and but his heart is always in the right place. So we'll see where this goes. But I think that this being issue 3, what we learn at the end of this issue, I can't see it being wrapped up in just a handful of issues. So this is going to be a running story arc for a while, which tells me Marvel Editorial is invested in this book for at least a pretty reasonable run. Which, yay, it's so good. And this whole segment of the Marvel universe has been neglected for quite a while. So anyway, it's very good. We've got copies of 1 and 2 still on the shelf. Yeah, and there are copies of 3. So stop in and get this book either here or at your local.
Yeah, if you're wanting to like check out the space stuff, this is easily one of the best ways you can get in right now.
Yeah, and you hit the ground running, and you really don't need to know anything about anything. I don't think so.
Yeah, they let you know everything like in a way that was just like, oh, I want to. Like, it doesn't feel like a homework thing. It's just like, oh, I want to go read these now.
Yeah.
Like, kind of deal. Which I think we actually sold our copies of Annihilation.
All right, I'll get them on.
Yeah.
I'll get them on reorder.
Yeah.
We've sold a bunch of those lately. So, all right. So now the book that was going to be my book, but is our book. Help me with the pronunciation of this new character. First appearance alert.
I believe it is pronounced the Ojo.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would say.
Yeah,
assumed
I'll be honest. I do not know like what these marks like
Ojo
like mean in terms of pronunciation for Japanese. But
yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Anyways, point being, it's Batman number 5.
Woo!
And
first appearance of a new character.
Yeah.
Who is crow or raven related?
Yeah.
They look like crows to me. The beaks are smaller, but I don't know. They say in there, don't they?
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways,
so Batman's going on a date, or is he?
Yeah, it's date night, but also car chase night with ninjas.
But it's not a date night.
Yes, but is it a date night?
I don't know.
Yeah. So basically, he's going on a maybe kind of date with the scientist at Wayne Tech who's been working on this device that can like maybe help cure people of their like insanity at Arkham and that.
I've always been suspicious of this whole thing, though. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, like there's definitely because that's the thing because we saw in I think it was issue 2 or 3 with the Riddler that like someone is like trying to also use this tech for like maybe more nefarious means, and whether or not it's her involved, like we have to like wait and see still.
Yes.
But yeah, so like Bruce is kind of trying to like both as Batman and as Bruce like trying to figure out like what's going on here. So
I like how much Bruce is showing up in this title so far.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. Despite the title, so like Bruce is just Bruce the entire time. Like he's definitely like trying to like he's doing this like fine line of like never like quite revealing he's Batman, but also like having to do like get into fights and stuff, but it comes across more as like, oh, he's this like weird billionaire that I guess like works out in like maybe like does some MMA, not in like, oh, he's a superhero kind of thing.
And he's probably just, slightly crazy or something.
Yeah, like it's very much him trying to come off as just this like over the top like rich dude, and it works really well. Also, I feel like did they like move the ads around in this issue so it didn't like affect a lot of the like action scenes?
I think so because it feels like we get a lot of just uninterrupted, unadulterated car chase.
Which I think, because normally, like, most comics are really good about, like, placing, like, the ad pages so it doesn't, like, interrupt the flow of a story. Where the thing with this issue is it's very much just, like, a constant chase sequence. Like,
it's pedal to the metal, breakneck speed the whole way through.
So, like, you can't really, like, have, like, an interruption anywhere.
Yeah.
It just needs to be, like, go, 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 which I really shouldn't be surprised. Jimenez is, like, one of those comic artists that can actually, like, draw a good car chase.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Which I think we've talked about before in here. It's not, like, an easy thing to do, and he makes it seem, like, effortless.
It's too early to say this for certain, but this is starting to feel like the perfect pairing of writer artist on a character, a la Ultimate Spider-Man, Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman. You know, it's just hitting all those same kind of notes at the beginning of those titles for me. That's hard to do with Batman. I think he's been done so many times, like regular main.
Yeah, it feels very reminiscent. Speaking of Fraction here as the writer, like, it feels very reminiscent of his time on Hawkeye with David Aja in terms of just, like, the perfect, like, artist to, like, fit that kind of story he was trying to tell with a superhero there. Like, this kind of, like, very, like, down to earth kind of thing, while still, like, having this, like, heightened sense of, like, he's still dealing with, like, weird, like, criminal organizations and, like super spies.
Yeah.
And, like, Aja, like, very capably, like, was able to kind of, like, toe the line between those two very different worlds, in part because of just, like, how their, like, creative, like, panel layouts and just, like, the weird little, like, things where they'd have, like, little, like, zoom panels on stuff, just, like, really, like, helped kind of, like, sell both the mundane and the absurd of the world.
Yes.
And here with Jimenez, he just, like, makes everything just feel like this, like, larger than, like, Gotham hasn't, like, felt this big in a long time. Like, it's always weird with, like, a lot of, like, these fictional cities where, like, they can sometimes feel, like, very small.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Because, like, it just never, it feels like it's always like, here's these couple important buildings and then, like, streets, and that's just kind of, like, what the city is. Whereas this, like, they place such a huge emphasis on, like, here's all these different neighborhoods, like, here's all this different kind of architecture. Like, it feels like it's, like, trying to, like, build, like, all these different kind of, like, aspects and eras of Batman can, like, coexist in this one, like, function, while also, like, very much demonstrating, like, how insane Gotham is as, like, a place geographically. Like, yeah, man, a place where there's, like, half, like, this district is just a bunch of, like, weird, like, Gothic, like, architecture and gargoyles everywhere, and this part is basically just, like, a cyberpunk place. Like, it makes it feel like they work, while still making you feel like you'd be like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. It's shocking how well it works, because it could easily just fall apart, and it just doesn't.
And, because this car chase goes across quite a bit of the city. And then we get this new character that shows up with swords, Ojo, or we're going with it. That's what we're going, until the internet proves it wrong.
Which we don't get to learn, like, too much about her here, but, like, she's definitely got, like presence for sure. Like, as soon as, like, she shows up, like, because, like, the whole time they're being, like, chased by these ninjas, whatever, like, it never feels like they're in that much danger. Right. But as soon as she shows up, it feels like the tone shift, like, you immediately can tell Bruce is like, oh, this one's actually going to be a problem.
Right, and got to give it my full attention. And how do you do that without giving away your abilities, which would start questions being asked. So, it was really good. I was so excited to have kind of a back into the swing of things kind of week. And speaking of back into the swing of things, there were some other books that were close to making it up here, and one of them was X-Men, which the X-Men titles are back post Age of Revelation. But if you didn't read it, Age of Revelation, you might want to go to the internet and just get at least a primer on it or something, because this story picks up right where that one started or left off.
Ended?
Both?
Yeah.
So, but that one was really good. What else did you enjoy this one?
I really enjoyed, I did have to think for a bit between this and the new Absolute Green Lantern. The fact that the Absolute books of all things could make a character like Goldface like come across as like kind of intimidating is just very like funny to me. But yeah, no, that book continues to be really solid. The kind of like supporting cast of the book is really kind of starting to come together. considering what happened to some of them in the first arc, we'll see what happens for the rest of them.
Yeah.
But, that's really good. We're getting to the end here of Ultimate X-Men. That's the penultimate issue this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so sad once that one's done in particular. I think I think I maybe mentioned this before. The closer we're getting to the end, the more I'm like, I think that one might be my favorite of the Ultimate books.
What have they... I'm not coming up with it right now. What's Peach doing next? Have we seen anything?
As far as I'm aware, just like more covers for stuff. I don't know that she's going to be on like any. I think she's probably going to go back to doing, if she does more interior stuff, more like miniseries, because she's as much as she's enjoyed doing the book, she's also talked about like how like the monthly schedule has been a lot more like grinding than, because normally she's done like miniseries here and there where she can kind of like go at her leisure, whereas it's just like, nah, you gotta get out of an issue every month kind of thing, which I mean any comic professional will tell you like, yeah, it can wear on you.
Yeah, every time I hear an artist saying that though, and I'm not to belittle them, but I always just think of Jack Kirby just frowning in a cloud of smoke behind with a stogie in his hand, like, I did 8 books a month. All by hand.
But Jack, you shouldn't have had to.
Right. Well, I know. But yeah. But anyway. Yeah. Anything else? What else did you have on your list?
What was it? Yeah, because like you said, it wasn't like a big week, but there was a lot of good stuff this week. Let's see here. New issue Godzilla ends this first arc.
Oh yeah.
We've got the end of the Cheetah and Cheshire Seal from the Justice, which I love if you've been reading in that last issue cliffhanger, how they deal with that is really funny. Like it's just like, that's a good way to cover your tracks, I'll say. Yeah. But no, those were both good. What about you?
Well, I was very excited to see at the back of the Batman issue a preview for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is
now
far from new, but it just released in the DC Compact Edition. So you can pick this up for $10. And this is going to be the inspiration, I think is probably the best way to put it, for the upcoming Supergirl movie.
Teaser trailer now online.
Teaser trailer online, which looks really good, which also advertises the book.
Yes.
So for $10, I mean, come on, it's like 2 issues. You can get a whole mini-series, and it's excellent. It's so well done, so very excited about it. All right, well, can't remember what I was looking at coming out next week, but I know there's going to be a whole bunch of good stuff next week, so I'm super excited about it. I think 2026 is going to be a great year for comic stories.
Speaking of which, and since we were gassing Pimenez on here so much, he is going to be the artist for the upcoming Superman Spider-Man one-shot coming in March from DC and Marvel. So if you're interested in that at all, definitely let us know so we can get you signed up for it.
Sign up now.
Yeah, it's going to be a similar situation to the whole Deadpool, Batman, Deadpool, where like if you don't get signed up, these are going to go quick, and you want to make sure that you're down for them. They've shown off a bunch of covers. There's some other ones that we haven't seen yet, so
it's going to be big.
It's going to be real big. I presume we'll be hearing, because the Marvel one is going to be coming out in April, so we'll be hearing about who's going to be on that one soon.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if you saw, but they announced what the best-selling books of December were. And Deadpool Batman was number 1, I believe. No.
It was Deadpool.
Batman Deadpool, yeah. But anyway, and then they announced the top books of 2025, and those two both cracked the top 10. So... and I expect that this will be close.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's tough to beat Batman, but if anybody can do it, Spider-Man and Superman.
Yeah.
So
also, it's also the 50th anniversary of when they first teamed up back in the 70s. So. Right,
which that Treasury edition came out today, but because of the logistics of the Treasury editions and the lack of interest so far in our customer base, if you didn't pre-order it, sorry, they're gone.
Though if you do want to order one, you can definitely let us know and we can see if we can get one in for you still.
We will do our best, but all the more important to pre-order everything that you're interested in so that we can guarantee that you get it. So
because if you don't get it right away, we can't always get stuff in. So if you want to make sure you get it, you got to let us know.
Let us know. Yep. All right. Well, we will be back next week with more Pulp Picks. Until then, be sure to follow, subscribe, comment, share, And stop into your local comic shop and pick up your periodicals and graphic novels because it keeps the whole world spinning. We'll be back next week with more picks. Enjoy the reading.
Oh, but yeah, no. So the thing I was going to bring up, so Arkham in here talks about how like, oh, I had no heirs, yada yada yada. But like, so we've got like that Dr. Arkham in like the main time period. So, like, what's her relation to all this? Like, she was the one like working with Bane and that.
Yeah, because it can't be a niece or a nephew. Could be a cousin, I guess.